What is going on, guys? It's January 21st, 2023. Our 2023 deer season starts right now. So one of our goals for this area is to get rid of all these little native invasive trees here. We're gonna improve this area, get rid of some of the junk trees, clean it up, open up the canopy so the sunlight hits the forest floor and some native grasses and native forbs grow that deer can eat, deer can bed in, also turkey poults and turkeys can use for cover. So we're going to improve that habitat so we have a whole bunch of critters come through here and use this area. What's going on, guys? It's February 25th. I'm here in Warren County, Iowa, and I'm frost seeding Biologic Clover Plus into my food plots. Now, the reason I'm seeding in February is this time of year there's a cycle called the freeze-thaw cycle. And what that is, temperatures at night will get below freezing and this ground will freeze. And then during the day, temperatures will be above freezing and this ground, this dirt, the top inch or two will thaw out. And with my seed on top, that thaw will push that seed down into the proper seed depth, about anywhere from, a quarter inch to maybe a half inch possibly. And then that'll do that for several weeks, and then in the springtime this clover will be the first seed to pop up. So I've got one field done already. I'm going to work on this half-acre plot here, and then we're going to wait a couple weeks or maybe a month or so, probably in March I guess, and then see what pops up. I'll keep on rolling. What is going on, guys? It's August 19th. I'm here in Carlisle, Iowa. It's 92 degrees. It is hot. We've got a strong heat wave coming through here in the next 4 to 5 days, but we're here planting our food plot. We got it all tilled up, and I smoothed it out with this crazy contraption. I'll explain later what that is, but yeah, this is our fall food plot. The plan is kind of put some radishes up close here for the early season, and maybe some late season food towards the back for gun season. You can see I got my tree koi out there. Got a camera right here to catch anything that comes in here, but eventually later on here, next couple weeks, we're gonna sneak a blind in here and shooting out this way. North's that way, so if we have a north wind, cold front, this will be a great spot. So I've got a clover field down there. I'll show you that as well. I'll show you a couple other things that we're doing here and have done here over the last year to improve our hunting spot. Last year, I don't think we had any shooters on camera here, but over the last couple months, we've had our cameras out. We've probably got maybe 5 or 6 nice bucks that are possibly worth shooting this fall. We've been doing some habitat management. I think it's starting to work. So this fall food plot is just a small part of a larger piece of the puzzle here. So we'll show you what else we got going on. We'll go down to this food plot, this clover plot we got down here. So as we make our way down to this clover food plot, I actually made a little path through here. They're gonna put some rye, act as a kind of a little feeding trail. And then this was our plot last year. We kind of let it grow. We didn't have access to a tractor this summer. Got a scrape tree right there that I planted last year, mowed that. That'll be a scrape tree next month. Yeah, we got a lot of foxtail in here, but there really is a good amount of clover in here. And we've been munching on the clover really well. Here's a good patch here. You can see I used Biologics non-typical clover. And yeah, we've got some alfalfa in here. This used to be an alfalfa. That's still an alfalfa out there, but there's still some bits and pieces of alfalfa growing in here, which is good. They'll eat that too. But yeah, this will be our little clover plot. Next year we'll keep it in our clover plot. We'll use some herbicide to get some of this grass under control. But overall, it still has done pretty well. Got a camera right here. But yeah, our goal is I'm putting a bunch of scrapes, mock scrapes along this tree line here, and they'll either go that way, this way, or they'll come up to our food plot and hit that top tree up there, and we'll kill them. Now this little spot is the spot I showed you guys in a video in late winter where I did some timber stand improvement, and we got some wildflowers growing in here, some native browse, some shrubs. So this tree had actually fallen down a couple weeks ago. We did some hinge cutting here, but it's really filled in. We didn't get to do a prescribed burn like I wanted to. There's also a lot of poison ivy in here, so you gotta be careful. But yeah, it's amazing what a little timber stand improvement can do, and allowing that sunlight to hit the forest floor here. Now it's full of some native browse. It's just a real inexpensive way to make a natural food plot. So we did some hinge cutting and some of these small hackberries, and you can see some of the deer have chewed some of those buds off. So another cheap way to make a food plot, and a little bedding area there if they choose to bed there, and did a little bit there as well. Now if you want to make your spot into a better spot, and you really should consider doing these small improvements when it comes to timber stand improvement and getting sunlight to the forest floor, get those native forbs up out of the ground, doing some hinge cutting, making some bedding areas, food plots, all that stuff. Lee Lakosky talks about it often. You do these small 2% improvements to your property, and they add up. You know, 2% here, 5% there. Before you know it, your property's 50% better than what it already was. You know, it takes some work, sweat equity, spend a little bit of money, a little bit of time. You don't have to spend a lot of money either. You can I mean, renting that MT and the tiller for probably a couple $100. If some of you don't have that, that's fine. But I understand. But I'm willing to spend my hard-earned money for doing something that I love. It's just a matter of what you can make sacrifices for, what you can make time for, and what you're willing to put in to make your hunting spot just that much better. Sometimes you got to get a little creative. Last year we had a cultipacker. This year we don't have access to one, but landowner had some extra hog panels here, so I attached that to the back of the ATV here, put some 5/16 log chains on the back, helped weight it down, and smoothed out the seed bed, firmed it up a little bit so that we got a nice firm seed bed that our seeds can take root on. So we tilled it a little bit ago, and yeah, we're just gonna smooth her out and we'll be ready for seed. Well, we got the food plots all planted today. Here's what it looks like. It's about just under a 1/4 acre. See, I've got the sprinkler going now. That's what you hear in the background. We're about 600 feet away from the shop. It's got a spigot, so we got 600 feet of hose running here. I think tomorrow or then sometime this week, I'm gonna put 4 of these tripods out on timers, and then I'm gonna have 4 sprinkler heads run an hour a piece every night. It's gonna be 100 degrees, I think close to 100 degrees for the next 7 days. So it's August 19th. It's getting pretty late. We're gonna want these to get germinated here fairly quickly. So we are gonna run some water on it probably every day for the next 7 days. Then next week, early next week, there's a chance of rain, but we'll see how that goes. Well, here's our little irrigation setup in our food plot. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 tripods in this field that are gonna water our food plot since the weather will not cooperate with us. It was 98 degrees today, I think. Tomorrow's gonna be 99, and the next 2 days will be 100. Really no rain in sight. There's a couple 20% chances later next week, but not gonna hold our breath. So we're gonna took the watering in our own hands. Our main feeder hose running all the way down to the shop down there. We're fortunate enough to be close enough to the shop that we can get some water. We lost a little water pressure with 600 feet of hose, but we'll get some water on it. Since there's not very much water pressure, these heads, the water doesn't reach all the way down that side, so I'm gonna let it run on this half of the field tonight and tomorrow night, and then later in the week we'll move these heads closer that way so we can get that half of the field watered. The soil is really dry soil, so definitely need some water. So we're gonna hang tight for a couple more minutes here and make sure our first zone turns on. Well, our first zone turned on here. Pretty good. Yeah, each of these heads will go 360 degrees for 2 hours and give our plot some much needed water. Stay tuned. What's going on, guys? It's September 8th, 20 days after planting our food plot on August 19th. I got a little update here. This area is looking pretty good. These are our brassicas here, radishes. We went a little thick in the middle there. That's all right. But on the outside, you can see we got some ryegrass that's coming up pretty well. Winter rye, actually. Last year, I noticed that the deer really loved eating this winter rye late in the season, so we got plenty of that for them, as you can see. So that's nice and thick. There's some radishes and turnips mixed in with that. We're a little thick in the middle here. That stuff will probably die off, but the stuff on the outside got pretty good spacing, so that stuff will do good if we get some rain. We're supposed to get a ½ inch of rain here in a couple days. We really need it. The soil is bone dry, as you can see. But this is our winter bulbs and sugar beets area here. It's coming up pretty good, a little thick in there, but overall it's not too bad. This will be our little late season plot down here. See some ryegrass, see some winter rye on this side of the plot as well, coming up pretty good. So overall, it's not too bad. Like I said, a little thick here in the middle through here, but the outsides are looking pretty good. So we, as you saw in a couple of other clips, that we were able to get water on this, so we watered it for about 2 weeks. So I'm sure everybody else's food plot is either really dry or didn't even come up at all. But, you can see this area didn't get any water Nothing came up there. That's my little trail that's leading to this food plot. We got a tree quarry here, a tree quarry there. We got our muddy blind tucked back in there. So yeah, overall I think we're pretty happy. I'll show you this clover plot down here that we just did some maintenance on. Give you guys a little update on our little clover plot we got down here. It's about a quarter of an acre, but we frost seeded this plot late last winter, overseeded clover plus and biologic, and we just let it go. We got all this grass in here and it's so thick. There's actually some clover in here, but you can see we got some clover in here, but it's so thick with this grass that deer have a hard time getting it. So what I did was take the weed eater, weeded all this, and exposed some of this clover that we got in here. It's pretty dry here. I think tomorrow night we're supposed to get a ½ inch of rain. That'll really help this clover out. Temperatures are back down to where they should be, in the lower 80s and the 70s at night. So this clover should bounce back pretty well after this little cut and be ready for the hunt season. What's going on, guys? It is September 23rd. 1 month has passed since we planted our food plot here. I wanted to give you guys a nice little food plot update. So overall, the last 5 days we got about an inch and a half of rain. This stuff has done really well. I got some deer radish in here, and along the edge here, I'll show you. Got some winter rye that's coming up really well. Last winter, I planted some winter rye, and they loved eating that because it was still green in the winter time. In fact, that's what I shot my late season doe over last year. But yeah, nice green carpet of winter rye for them to eat when everything else starts turning brown. This winter rye is going to be still green, so they're going to come to this, and should be a good spot. Be excited. 1 week away from the archery season opening up. Yeah, pretty excited. I got some mock scrape trees here set up. Got the muddy bale blind right there. We're just gonna wait for that first October cold front. I wanted to give you guys an update on our clover food plot. A couple weeks ago I came in here with a weed eater, and this whole field was full of weeds like that, and we trimmed them down because it was choking the clover that we had underneath, and the clover has responded really well. So pretty excited about this stand. It's not the prettiest stand, but there's plenty of clover and even some alfalfa in here and some chicory as well. We got a little transition path here with some oats, and we'll turn up in there, and that's going to go up to our fall food plot right here. This is kind of a little pathway that I hope the deer will use to head into our feeding field up here. Well, here we are, guys, September 23rd, 1 week out from the Iowa bow season. We put in a ton of work on this farm starting last February, when we did some frost seeding of our clover food plots, and they've come up really well all summer long. We did some supplemental feeding with analogics. We did some timber stand improvement. You guys saw that video. We did some hinge cutting, trying to improve the bedding habitat here. And we had our cameras rolling all summer long, taking inventory. You guys saw the update of our fall food plot that we put in. We put in a ton of mock scrapes in, and we got the muddy bale blind set up, and we're ready to go. We put in the work. The stage has been set. Season's almost here. It's go time. Stay tuned.